Now on the Locked On Celtics podcast, Jaylen Brown's unique way of leading his teammates and the Celtics peaking at the right time.
Locked On Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast. I'm John Karalis. Thank you for joining the show, making it your first listen every day. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Later on, we'll get into the Celtics peaking at the right time and whether things will be different come playoff time. Maybe the one remaining question I have, that's the second and third segments. But we're going to start with Jaylen Brown's leadership and our fearless leader. No, that's me. But Tom Westerholm. Hey, Tom.
Definitely fearless, though.
Very fearless. Very fearless. Jaylen Brown is also, I would say, fearless, especially when it comes to explaining his leadership style with the Celtics. So it was really, first of all, I have to connect with you better. So tell me, what year were you born?
That would be 1989.
1989. And so 1989, you
know those videos that they put out where they're like, they'll ask a player, like, were you born in? And then if it was in the 19 something, they're, it's like they'll hit them with like some statue or something. Like, not only am I in the 19s, I'm in the 1980s. So,
Yes. Well, you're old, man.
I know, man.
I'm also in the 1970s. Anyway, you are apparently Year of the Snake.
Yes, Year of the Snake.
Year of the Snake.
Yeah,
which means you are enigmatic, intelligent, and wise. Boy, this is not anywhere close. Anyway, yeah.
Enigmatic, for sure.
Enigmatic, intelligent, and wise. That's all good. I am Year of the Ox. The ox represents strong work ethic and the ability to endure challenges, which is why I'm a podcast host. I'm putting out 30 shows a week. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think they nailed it on you. Yeah.
Kind of nailed it, right? Maybe Jaylen Brown is onto something because he explained.
John Ox Karalis is how I think you should introduce. Like, not every time you come on now. My name is John Ox Karalis. I've been doing some version of this job for 20 years. Like, I think. Yeah.
You can do it's almost like what word would that be? It's like Ox OX, but AUX as well. That's all my stuff that I have to connect. So Jaylen, the reason we're doing this, if you haven't heard Jaylen Brown's quotes, is that he said, I learned about each and every one of our guys, even down to astrology. This was after the game last night. And people were like, huh? Astrology? All right. And it was like, Abby said, do you have flashcards? And he goes, no, I memorized everything. And he just rattled him off. Nemias Queta, he's Year of the Rabbit. His communication is different from D. White. D. White's Year of the Dog. So he's different. Ugo's a dog. Peyton's a tiger. JT is a tiger. Ron's a dragon. Joe's a dragon. Nicola's Year of the Horse. It's Year of the Horse right now. He literally did all of this stuff off the dome. And I was like,
I thought Nicola was the most impressive one because that's like, that's a new teammate. And he was right. He was ready to go.
So obviously he went into numerology. He went into the traditional, I guess, star signs where JT's a Pisces. And listen, man, none of that. I don't pay attention to any of that.
Yeah.
My initial reaction would be to be like, oh, come on, Jaylen. But I'll take it a step further. I kind of don't care how he got there. Where he ended up is he made personal connections with each one of these teammates. So whether you want to say it's ridiculous to be, he's Year of the Dog and he's a Pisces and his number is an 8. I don't know. None of that stuff makes any sense to me. And I don't think it has bearing. However, Jaylen took the time to learn about these guys. And even if it's we'll just stick with the word unique way, he did at least put the time and effort to connect with these guys so he could communicate with each of them on their own level. And it could be a long and winding road. It could be like listening to somebody talk their way through a problem. You're like, no, that's wrong. No, that's wrong. No, but you got it right. But in the end, I kind of land on he got it right because the guys kind of connect with him. So
yeah,
however he got there, he got there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like on an interpersonal level, it's interesting, right? Because I think one of the things that really a lot of people can connect with, at least because I'm right there with you on all of this stuff, right? It's not something that I ascribe to, something that I pay any attention to, or, put any real thought into. But I think one of the things that people who do kind of ascribe to this stuff, one of the ways that it can work is when you're rattling off things about yourself, about, the year of the ox, right? It's like, well, I mean, yeah, you right, do have a really strong work ethic. It's like, you know what, that is true. Absolutely. Right. It's like, I liked, for me, it's like, hey, it's nice to hear, like, hey, wise, smart. It's like, you want to believe that stuff about yourself. Right. So if Jaylen is looking at Tatum, right, and he says, okay, he's year of the tiger, or he's looking at Pritchard, right? He's like, year of the tiger. Tiger is brash, passionate, and a confident leader. You can always kind of see these areas in that person's life where some of these compliments might kind of ascribe, right? Like Payton Pritchard, brash. You know what? You got to be a amount of brash to take as many end of course shots as Payton Pritchard takes, and to like, no, this is my time. My time is the last second.
This is what I do.
I Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown on my team, but you know what? That last shot of the quarter is mine. Like, you got to be a certain level of brash and confident. Yeah. So you can, like, even if you don't like ascribe to he's like that because year of the tiger, it's like, no, you can find an area of Payton Pritchard's life where he is brash and confident. And if you communicate with Pritchard with that kind of positive vision of him in mind, it's going to go well for both of you because you're looking at him in a really positive light. And who doesn't like to kind of be seen for their positive attributes, Yeah. I think you're really onto something there because it doesn't necessarily matter whether Payton Pritchard like sees year of the tiger and is like, oh yeah, no, I'm year of the tiger, and that's why I am the way I am, or just is like, hey, like I'm a confident dude. I play a lot of basketball. I'm confident in my basketball. Either way, Jaylen is correctly identifying something very positive about one of his teammates, and he's using that as a way to connect to him. And I think that's cool. I think that's like you said, it's like a winding road, but like however you get there, It's still good in the end.
It's the difference between, when I was taking broadcast journalism classes, they made a very important point that I've always taken to heart. Don't talk at somebody, talk to somebody. So even if I'm doing a solo show, I'm talking to a camera, but I'm also talking to the person who's watching through that, who's listening to that versus talking at.
Yeah.
And there's just a significant difference in that because talking at is just, you must listen to me because I have the authority versus talking to somebody is, hey, here's my take. I feel like I know a little bit about something and I'm pretending that you've asked me about my take. And then I go off about it for 30 minutes because I can talk for 30 minutes, no problem. But as an ox does, we like to pull that sled. But that's what Jaylen's doing. He's not talking at his teammates. He's not talking at them and saying, I'm Jaylen Brown. You must listen to Jaylen Brown. And I have decreed that we must work harder. It's, hey, I'm talking to my teammates. And if I'm picturing myself as a teammate of Jaylen's, I hear this stuff and I'm like, oh, JB's just being quirky. He's just being, it is a little weird if you don't subscribe to it. And listen, there are people like one of you watching or listening is going to be like, no, Jaylen is onto something. He gets it. And that's totally fine too. If you want to believe it,
Absolutely.
Believe it. If you want to be maybe skeptical, fine. I don't. Also, that's fine if you don't. But I think what it comes down to is if I'm a teammate of Jaylen's and he's approaching me like this, I kind of laugh. But I also think this dude's trying. He's also really, really good. And he is the team leader. He's just by default, he can do the me, Jaylen, you listen and be like, Neanderthal about it, but he's not. He is using his brain and he's using his heart and he's trying. And a lot of times when people are just trying, that's enough for you to be like, you know what, dude? All right, I'm in. Yeah, that's right. I'm the ox. What do you got for me, dude? And at least it's sincere. And in that sphere, in that setting, those guys respond to sincerity and respect. And Jaylen is showing them those. The authenticity. That's a good point. Like that's why Joe works.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why Jaylen works. So, however, again, very good comparison. Joe Mazzulla. What's the difference between Machine Gun Sounds and Year of the Snake? Both weird, crazy things, right? But it's coming from a place of sincerity, authenticity, respect. So the guys are like, yeah, man, I'm all in. Put the snakes out there, put the Machine Gun Sounds out there. Let's hoop.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, listen, I mean, Jaylen Brown, Year of the Rat. You look up Year of the Rat. It's like intelligent, popular, and loves attending parties and social gatherings. Like Jaylen likes to be out there a little bit. That's for sure. I also, before I know we got to go to break, but I do want to just point out him saying numerology is a lot more telling, I think, than anything else because numbers don't lie. We've got a bunch of analytics guys here, which frustrates me at times, but numerology is definitely very telling. Is one of the funniest quotes.
It really is.
Like, just get this RAPM crap out of here. Get this PER crap out of here. I want to talk about the Pythagorean theorem. Like, it's so good, man.
It's such a wild ride to go from numbers don't lie, analytics drive me crazy, but the numbers don't lie. What?
It's so good, man.
That really is.
That had me dying.
It is. Whoops. It is for sure. Listen, man. We don't look at Jaylen as quirky.
Yeah,
he's quirkier than we think.
He's a little quirky. He's got some quirk.
He's got some quirk in that game. Yeah. All right. All of this leads up to the Celtics, I think, playing their best basketball and peaking at the right time. I think we'll discuss that when we come back. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like being in an NBA arena. Listen, you got the crowd. You can hear the crowd cheering for Robert Parrish, cheering for the Celtics, cheering for Kristaps Porzingis. Being there, perfect. Get in there by using the Game Time app because they give you the advantage when it comes to buying tickets. You pull up the Game Time app, you pick a game, you're running out of regular season games, but you can get those tickets locked in within minutes. You got all in pricing up front. So when you open up the app, you see a price on those tickets. That's what you're going to pay. No surprise fees. You can see the view from your seats. If you're not familiar with TD Garden, or maybe you're visiting another arena, you can go and see the view from your seat so you know what you're looking at. If you like the view from that section, you can do a zone deal. You choose the section, Game Time picks the seats, and that'll save you a few bucks. It's great for last minute options. Everything's quick, intuitive, stress-free. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's LOCKEDON, Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. And if you're using the web, it's gametime.co, gametime.co. Today's show is also brought to you by Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when the momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now it can take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available across the United States. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. The number one Celtics podcast on the planet. It's on the number one Locked On. Locked On is the number one sports podcast network on the planet. It's all thanks to you and every dayer joining me every Monday through Friday and bonus podcasts throughout the week. There'll be a bonus podcast that you probably will see on your feed today. So check them out. Join me. I'm John Karalis. I cover the Celtics for Celtics on SI. I have been doing a version of it for 20 years, and this podcast for 10. Tom Westerholm of Boston.com has been podcasting for a significant amount of time as well. And this, about peaking at the right time. About teams that maybe look good a little early on and the vibes, carrying them through, but masking some problems. The Celtics seem to continue to get better. And I talked yesterday about really this was the best. This game against the Warriors was the best we've seen Jaylen and Jayson at the same time. Jayson coming back and looking the way he does kind of helps the peaking at the right time.
Sure does.
I don't know where this momentum stops. I mean, the playoffs, we'll get into the playoff conversation, but for now, as Jayson works his way back in, to have Jaylen being the passer that he is, we talked about this a couple days ago, to have Derrick kind of playing a little bit better, to have Payton kind of figure out his shooting a little bit. This is all just, man, I don't know. There's like almost nothing negative to say about this team. And every time something happens, you're like, oh, this is also a major positive. It's hard not to be kind of, we've talked about it, gushy green teamer sounding person, but there's just no other analysis here. They look good.
No, 100%. And I think just a small tangent. I think that like as people who do try to be very objective about covering the team, I do think it's important in these moments to be appropriately positive about them, right? Because there will be negative moments down the line. There will be things to criticize. There will be moments that it's like, boy, I don't know. And I mean, look, before the season, right? I mean, like last night's game is the official game where we both look like idiots, right? Because we were both like, man, I think 44, 45 wins. Well, now they have 46 and there's 13 games to go. So it's official. We missed. Oops, but like there will be moments down the line where you do have to be critical of the team. And I think that it's important to, like, in the same way that you have to be critical about them when they deserve criticism, you also have to you have to laud them when they look like this, right? But yeah, I mean, to your point, right? When you're especially when you look at the spacing that they had often yesterday, it's like you got Jaylen on one side of the floor, you got Jayson on the other side of the floor, you got guys, Mazzulla loves to call them connectors these days. That seems to be his new favorite word. Like when you've got connectors in between and you've got guys who are all willing to pass, all willing to do stuff, but all who can also score. I mean, to just be able to anchor your offense on either side to those two guys is crazy. I mean, it's crazy to see Tatum just getting into the lane and swooping around guys and using that length and scoring. And we talked about, okay, we don't exactly know what 85% of Jayson Tatum is going to look like, and I think we're climbing a little bit, right? Because I think he was like 75% maybe that first game. And we're climbing. Like it's not 75% of Jayson Tatum anymore. Like he's moving up a little bit. And I think just being able to see that at this juncture is, I don't know, man. It's really wild. And the combination of him and Jaylen, I think the thing that I like the most about it this year is that we've seen what Jaylen looks like as the 1A guy. In last night's game, Jaylen was the 1A guy, and Jayson took that kind of secondary supplementary role, really like just nailed it, right? Yeah. That is precisely what supplementary Jayson Tatum looks like and probably should look like for the rest of the year because, I mean, he's still coming back. Like, I think that's probably how this is going to go. There will probably be some games where he's, really excellent and Jaylen takes a backseat, but I think for the most part, that's how this team is. And like it should look. Next year, how that shakes out, who knows? But for right now, I think that was like a real flashpoint of like, this is how good this team could look. This is how good this partnership could look this year, even if Tatum never reaches 100% over the next few months.
I like the way they're using the complementary guys. When you have Jaylen and Jayson now, the way they're playing, you can say, okay, well, Jaylen and Jayson are going to be on opposite sides of the floor, and we're going to put these guys, on this side and these guys on this side. And it depends on how the other team's playing you. You say, okay, we're going to start creating some jump shots because they're helping off of the shooters. So we're going to take Jaylen and Jayson, we're going to put them on opposite sides, and we're going to say we're going to help off of, we know they're helping off of a shooter, Baylor Shireman or Ugo Gonzalez or something like that, and say, okay, Jayson or whoever's driving will kick it to that guy, and then it's swing, 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 and now the ball's in Jaylen's hands, and the team is in rotation. Now he's an attacker, and everybody has to overreact to that, and they've forgotten about Jayson. And you see kind of some of that working together, and working where Jayson ends up with the ball and kicking it out to Jaylen. And you're like, how do you forget? How do you forget that this guy is here? How does this guy get so wide open?
They act like they forgot about Jays.
It's what was that? Did that say intelligent for a year?
I don't do that. Listen, this is the evidence against astrology, right?
Yeah,
here.
It really was.
Yeah.
The way the Celtics can deploy the help, or to deploy the guys that you're helping off of, because this year the other team's going to say, we're helping off of these guys. It's just, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to let Jaylen and Jayson beat us. Well, those guys are playing so well that they're not going to just, Baylor is not just going to shoot. Ugo is not just going to shoot. They're going to make the right plays. They're all capable of attacking.
Jordan Walsh is going to make the right play. Like,
that's right.
Sometimes.
Right. But it's like, still, like,
he's going to try to.
Right. But I like where the Celtics are right now, but it does raise a question about the playoffs and being dared to beat another team. Let's pivot to that, because this is great for March and April, but when the end of April and May comes around, will it be different? We'll tackle that when we come back. Today's show is brought to you by Indeed. You've got an open spot. It's like an open roster spot for Brad Stevens. Are you just going to hope? Brad Stevens doesn't just hope that the right player shows up. He's got scouts. He's got a front office that goes out there and does the legwork. Indeed is that for you. They help you reach the people who fit what you're looking for, and it cuts through all of the deadlines and craziness that you're dealing with. They find the people with the skills, experience, and location, so you can find the people that check all of your boxes. In this minute that I'm talking to you, companies like yours will have made 27 hires on Indeed worldwide, according to Indeed data. So you need to spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing people who check all your boxes. That means less time, less stress, more results for you. Indeed sponsored job will get you through the chaos, and you can get a $75 sponsored job credit to help your job get the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Go to Indeed.com/podcast right now. Support the show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply at Indeed.com/podcast. If you need to hire, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop. The tournament is beginning, and now you've got tons of actions, both coasts, early to late. There's always action on the board. FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into a bigger potential win with the college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any hoops parlay that you want, mix the spreads, totals, player props, however you see the slate playing out. Then you can apply the profit boost and instantly bump up the potential payout. Go safe, go bold, ride with the team you've been following all season. It's your parlay, it's your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. When you sign up, it'll ask you to set a limit, set a budget, use the tools that are available there. Set your budget to whatever you can afford to lose. This way, if you go cold, if you get some of these upsets, you're okay. It's just your disposable income. Come back later at FanDuel.com. Gamble responsibly. FanDuel, play your game. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. You want to be an everydayer, you're an everydayer with me. So now join the Everydayer Club. $5 a month or $50 for the year. You get ad-free audio. You get access to our Discord server for live in-game chats and more at lockedonceltics.supercast.com, lockedonceltics.supercast.com. Ad-free audio is worth it alone. It's compatible with all major podcasting apps. Check it out. I'll drop the link in the show notes as well. Whoa, wrong button, John. That's the button. And now this is the button that puts Tom back on the screen. Sheesh. Well, I was going to make a joke.
Sometimes you plug the wrong aux cord into the wrong.
Hey, that's the one I was waiting for.
Yeah.
Something. There was a joke in there. The playoffs are going to come around. I was on the radio 98.5 this morning, and we were talking about the playoffs, and it's the last, I think, remaining question for this team. The playoffs will undoubtedly be different. You've got days to scout your opponent. It doesn't matter. The regular season, kind of whatever you've done all regular season, kind of doesn't matter, because now it's all about the adjustments. You're looking at some guys who played might not play, some guys who start might not start, whatever it is, however it plays out. Do you see any sort of potential for this team to, I don't know, man, if this has been a big Cinderella run, turn back into the pumpkin? Is the playoffs at some point going to be like, oh, this is, they've had a regular season that was magical, but when it comes time to game plan and rely on Baylor Shireman or Nimi or Luka or whomever, that you think there's the chance of, okay, that's not going as well as it used to?
I mean, there's always the chance, right? And I mean, especially on a team that relies on 3-point shooting. Like if some of these guys start missing shots, the potential is always there. I will say that I don't expect that for several reasons. I think, one, as much as like this, we've joked before about how now we've turned into like a heat culture kind of thing. Like now we're just like, we're big like Celtics culture guys.
Yeah.
I do think that there is something to, when people say like championship DNA, I think a lot of times what they actually just mean is, hey, these guys know what it's like in the playoffs, right? Like it's like, these guys know how to play in the playoffs. I mean, Jaylen and Jayson live in the playoffs. Neither of those guys has missed the playoffs at any point in their career. So, I mean, they know how to do this. They've been there. Payton Pritchard has been there. Like, these guys have been in these situations. And I think Derrick White, oh my gosh, right? Like, it's like these guys have been there. They know how to win. So I for that reason, I don't expect it. I don't think that this team has a lot of targets on the defensive end. That's one of my biggest concerns for teams in the playoffs, right? I think that's it's one of the reasons I've never been a big Knicks believer. I think there's just way too many defensive targets. It's one of the reasons I think, I never really believed in the Cavs when they had Darius Garland, because it was just like, well, okay, but there's always going to be that one guy that they can just beat up over and over again. Anytime your team has targets, I don't really believe in you. And the Celtics don't really have that issue. Like everybody competes, everybody plays defense. Which, again, I mean, it's funny given what we thought this team was going to be at the start of the season. But no, they're really good. And Tatum's back, and he's really, really good on the defensive end. So, no, I mean, I don't expect it. I think it's fair to wonder about the 3-point shooting. But on the other hand, you mentioned Shireman, right? And it's like, yeah, maybe there's a problem there. But Joe can always shorten the rotation in the postseason, right? It can just, like, even once you get beyond, Vucevic, assuming he comes back, or Garza and Pritchard off the bench, that's 7 already, right? You're already talking about 7 guys. You usually only have like one more guy in that playoff rotation, and that can vary based on the evening. So you can just take, if Shireman's missing shots, I don't know, Ron Harper Jr. seems pretty unflappable.
Yeah.
Just toss him out there. I don't know, see what happens. Like, you can try other stuff. So I think it's fair to wonder about some of the shooters. It's always fair to wonder that, like, the Celtics shooters got cold in the Knicks series last year, and that got them in trouble. But beyond kind of those variables that are hard to predict anyway, I'm not too concerned about it.
Yeah. So we're back to like you said before, it's the unknown. It's the one thing we don't know about this team. The playoffs we know are different. This team has not been in the playoffs yet. And so it raises those questions of, well, okay, these guys, when you don't expect something to happen and it just everything exceeds expectations, you say, okay, this is great. Now everything changes. The style of basketball shifts, everything kind of resets. Everybody's at zero. So I do believe it is fair to ask the question, or at least wonder out loud. But you're right. Every time I've wondered out loud this season, I've been proven, well, that's not an issue. Oh, yeah, that's not an issue either. Well, John, why don't you just shut up and like stop wondering out loud?
You still have to ask the question. It's the same thing as the Tatum Jaylen thing. You have to wonder how it's going to look. You don't know.
But that's right. That's right. And so we do wonder. We do ask. We do put it out there. But at the same time, what I'm saying is I've been so beaten down by how many times, like every time I've asked,
beaten down by success.
it's just been like, okay, hey, well, we don't know about this. Actually, we do. We're fine.
Yeah, we're really good at rebounding. How you like that, Karalis?
Right. You're going to be terrible at rebounding. Even Joe was like, yeah, we're going to be horrible at rebounding this year. And it's like, okay, we're better than we thought. You're going to be bad defensive team. Nah, not really. Jason's going to come back, and he's not going to be anywhere close to himself. Well, yes, he is. Jaylen, yeah, he's never been the number one option. How's he going to handle it? Just fine.
MVP, right?
Yeah, it's like everything. When you don't know about something, it's fair to wonder. It's no different to me than asking how tomorrow is going to go. I have a meeting tomorrow. I have a pretty good idea how it's going to go, but you just never know. You never know. Or if there's a question, you're going to a doctor, be like, oh yeah, I got this pain. I'm just going to go. Anything that you haven't experienced yet, there's a question. But these guys just keep being like, no, we're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. We got you, my babies. It's all cool. So, yeah, it is going to be interesting. I do like the point of there's so many different guys that you can go to. Baylor's not working. Okay, Jordan Walsh. That's not working. Okay, Ron Harper Jr. Okay, that's not working. Hugo Gonzalez. Yeah. And even Hugo, who's a rookie, and you don't typically rely on these rookies, he's an NBA rookie, but he's been in the pros. So even he has like a thing. You say, oh, well, that's a mitigating factor. So.
Yeah. And even if he's not making shots, he's going to he'll create just some extra shots by just flinging himself, right. Directly at the ball, like head first. Like he'll do some crazy thing
like Ralph Wiggum going through the window. But even Jayson, I don't know what Jason's going to be like in the playoffs. He's been amazing so far. I cannot believe that he's this far. I've been joking that this is like the Ronaldo of injury comebacks. Like Ronaldo is an amazing soccer player and he's super handsome. You don't get to be both, dude. You don't get to be both. You get to be either super handsome or one of the best soccer players in the world. You can't be both. How are you both? For Tatum, it's like
right, like Messi put all his sliders into the soccer thing. So sure. That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. And so with Tatum, it's like you get to come back at 10 months, or you get to come back when you're basically almost yourself. You don't get to be both. How are you both already? This doesn't make any sense. And so one of my questions heading into the playoffs has always been, what percentage of Tatum are we going to see? How many minutes can he play? He's not going to be able to play his normal allotment of minutes that you would expect, a 40-something. But even if he doesn't, even if it's 36, that's fine. That's 3 less minutes that you can kind of make up for along the way. And you're still getting 36 minutes of Jayson Tatum in the playoffs. Are you kidding me? So that part, all of the questions are just, I don't know, for exercise, just making the brain work, I guess.
We're just warming up for the playoffs. We're just like Tatum, just getting some reps in.
Getting some reps, getting some questions reps in. All right. Well, that's it. If you think that the things are going to be different in the playoffs, let me know. Let us know in the comments. I'm assuming that most people don't, but at least maybe you know where we're coming from asking the question. So let's just end it there. Tom, thank you very much. As always, appreciate you, Tom Westerholm. I appreciate you listening, watching 5 days a week. Eight times in those 5 days, 9 times in those 5 days. They play Friday night, so that'll be a bonus podcast as well. So 6 days of podcasts. So it's all kinds of podcasts for you. So make sure you're subscribed. It's the only way to get them all. Get into the comment section, share your thoughts, and then I would love it. Please share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast. Here on the Locked On Podcast Network, it's your team every day.